Welcome back. This is Cetriya, C-E-T-R-I-Y-A, and today you probably noticed something a little bit different with the Inktober, especially with the title of this video being, should you do Inktober when you are sick? So this is week 2 of Inktober, and instead of doing a recording process, I thought I'd just show you some of the pages that I was able to complete. I am currently about 5 days behind, and that is because I got sick over the weekend and just pretty much was bedbound. I'm better now, hence why I can give you this video, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about how sometimes it might be a bit discouraging to try and do a challenge. I know by now a number of you guys are suffering through burnout, and some of you have been sick, so maybe you might feel a little guilty, or especially if you've never drawn on a daily basis, so all of a sudden attempt to draw on a daily basis, especially with a medium as unforgiving as inking. But before I get into that, I thought I'd just quickly share what I was able to do this week, which is just 4 pieces. This piece was completed prior to me getting sick while I was waiting at the mechanic trying to get my car fixed. I'll be going again the next day, but it wasn't the best of papers. This was done on printer paper, and this was done with ballpoint pen and a Sharpie and a couple of blue lines that you may or may not be able to see in here. So that's just to give you an option, especially for some of you who might feel like you don't have enough time or whatnot, to just go ahead and do your best at completing the work, or even if you don't have the best material. And of course, this piece is not as complicated as some of my other pieces, but I had thought of the idea already with the queen and kind of like her empire's flag / kind of a clothing sachet, and that's how I came up with that idea. And I did that during about an hour and a half wait time at the mechanic. So if you have stuff that you gotta do that's just making you wait, instead of checking your phone, perhaps you can go ahead and work on an illustration. The next one that I decided to do was the one for Galaxia. I definitely have to say that Sailor Moon is probably the anime that kind of started it all for me. It was way back in, I want to say 5th, 6th, maybe 7th, about 5th grade. I want to say 5th grade that I got into it. And I know that since my theme deals with galactic queens or queens in space queens kind of thing, that I just wanted to pay one of my tributes to Sailor Galaxia. I did like her outfit. I definitely have to say again, with an unforgiving medium, that the background was intentional. It's not like I made a mistake and then all of a sudden I try to cover it. It was intentional, but my thing was more of attempting to render gold with just ink work. So that was definitely a challenge that I found out. And you can't see it as much, but you kind of can. You can see on her arm, I did a bit of a mistake and I made the correction there. So it'll scan fine, but... So this is a piece that I completed the day after I felt better. So this is Tuesday. This is being done on Tuesday. Whereas up to Monday, I did go to work, but I wasn't feeling all that great. And I'm glad that I got into it. I know a few people have commented that they like the scenic route, and I definitely enjoy making these scenic scenes. It's kind of funny how I'm kind of going back to like older sci-fi to try and get certain compositions and mix in newer sci-fi. In my attempt to make like the streaks of the glass, when I did the gel pen, it kind of looked like a shooting star, so I decided to go ahead and add more shooting stars. But I just wanted to cover something specifically for this piece, and that is the fact that I did not use my dip pens that you probably have seen in my first video. I've used the technical pens, and I will be reviewing these technical pens. I do love them. However, it is kind of reminding me why I went and switched back to a dip pen or a brush pen. And if you see my earlier pieces of Inktober, there's just something about technical pens that my mind does not agree with. Even if I were to go and say color this piece in full color, I still love the fluidity of either a brush pen or the nib or something that includes some kind of flexibility with the tips. But I also see how there's, again, feeling the limitations, but I have to say I definitely like the fact that I got in the space station and kind of sort of the glow of the globe. I really want to use some tones, so maybe in one or two pieces I'll attempt to tones, which is kind of flexing Inktober, but I'm learning so many things. I kid you not, before this I wasn't really doing any sci-fi or even mecha. I probably should do some mechas, but so far I'd say that Inktober has definitely have done what I needed to do, which comes to the final thing about talking whether you should do Inktober, whether you're sick or not. Now, my illness was enough that I could not really sit down there and concentrate and do the work. So again, don't feel bad if you're incapable of doing the work, especially if you're sick or busy. But if you can just push yourself a little more, let's say you're just kind of under the weather a little bit or a little tired, if you had set your initial goal as to why you're doing the Inktober and not to impress people, but you have something in mind, that a little project that you want to complete, I definitely would suggest you do, whether it's Inktober or some other 30-day challenge that you made your goal prior, and to stick to it, because I'm already seeing things that I like doing, things that I don't like doing, experimenting, coming up with new ideas, and it's just my mind has been flourishing, even though my hands have been really cranky and, you know, crabby and all that stuff. So anyhow, guys, I thank you for seeing this week 2 of Inktober, even though I only have 3 pieces. So that means next week you'll see more than 7 pieces, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.